This is Show Up as a Leader, a show from People Forward Network, helping you maximize your positive impact on the world by becoming your best, fully authentic self. Hey everyone, it's Rosie. I am super excited to have my dear friend, Rana DeBoer, co-founder of Volt Strategy, launch a new series on the podcast called Elevate Your Leadership. In this series, Rana offers a unique blend of behavioral science and business strategy to help leaders take their cultures to the next level and build future-ready organizations. Take a listen.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning into this month's episode of Elevate Your Leadership, where we are going to focus on driving greater results in your leadership through the intent, influence, and impact formula. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Rana DeBoer, a serious but very fun human performance junkie who loves to help leaders and teams reach their full potential and truly create a culture that doesn't just perform, but actually outperforms. Because who doesn't love a good win? And quite honestly, who doesn't need a good win these days, right? All right, so let's get into it. If you haven't already, I encourage you to go back and listen to the introduction episode. It's only 15-20 minutes. And with each episode, remember that I give you access to a peak leader guide that complements the topic and helps you put the learning into action. So think of it this way. What I'm really doing in this podcast is providing you with coaching and a guided curricula to elevate your leadership and help you reach your full potential. So my coaching is based on a 25-year practice of peak leadership, a simple, yet wildly effective way to focus on getting your best results in life and leadership. So let me unpack that really quick for you. P is purpose-driven. We know who we are, what our strengths and our gifts are, and we know that our gifts are meant to be given away. And foundationally, we understand how our strengths and our gifts play into how we lead and how we're able to make a great impact and lead a fulfilling life, right? Especially at work, that work-life piece. E is about energy fueled, and this is really your capacity. So it's the mind, body, spirit. And with good capacity, we are able to use and then grow our given capabilities. And that allows us to be creative, to get the results and the impact we want to, and to make with that motivating and fulfilling purpose in hand. A is about action-orientated, which means that we are conscious leaders and we are aware first and foremost, right? Self-awareness is everything. And with that awareness comes choice. And that's what we mean by action-orientated. It's great to be aware, but you need to do something with it. So P, purpose, E, energy, fueled, A, action-orientated, and K is about knowledge hungry, which is why you're listening in, right? You know that having that insatiable curiosity to learn and grow is the only way to live and lead. So that's peak. And today we're going to talk a bit about building some strength in the P, the purpose, and the A, action-orientated elements. And it's all about the fact that in your leadership, people buy you first, right? They become raging fans of you because of who you are, what you believe in, and the way you work with and regard others, and in the way that you create results as well, right? Results in how you make those wins happen. Okay, so here's what I mean. As a leader, you can provide all the direction in the world, giving guidance, instruction, sharing vision for the way forward. However, without the respect and the belief in you, your character matched with expected action, your words can feel a bit empty of that human connection. which is where the most effective leadership begins and quite frankly ends, right? It's all about relationships. It's all about those relationships. And I've always loved the way Craig Groeschel puts it. And he says it like this: people would rather follow a leader that is real than a leader who is always right. And I just love that. That's about being real, being authentic, knowing your personal core values and how that extends into your leadership and really stands you up strong in that character piece. So people want to follow someone they have a relationship with, because we know that relationships create trust. And that doesn't mean necessarily that you need some super close, tight relationship with every employee or every team that you lead. But what it does mean is that you're able to show some vulnerability and share who you really are, specifically so in those daily moments of work. And that's really what I want to focus on for a few minutes with you today, is those meetings, the phone calls, the decisions, times when it's clear you need to give direction, or maybe you need to receive it from your team, or those unexpected maybe interactions, right, that happen in the hallway or with a phone call when an employee or a peer says, hey, you got a quick minute? And you think to yourself, no, I don't. I don't have enough time. I don't have enough capacity. So that's what today is about, fueling that up a little bit, because those are the moments that matter, and they matter a lot. They are some of the most powerful moments in your leadership. So hopefully you've all had a chance maybe to get out and at least get a review of Gallup's recent 2024 workplace report. And here's a great soundbite from that puts this into perspective. They talk about the fact that one meaningful conversation per week develops high performance relationships more than any other single leadership activity. Boom. That is powerful right there. Everything begins and ends with leadership, and that is absolutely grounded and founded in great relationships and trust. And that all comes back to who you are. People buy you first, and they feel confident in your character, which allows an open door, right, to accepting your guidance and coaching. And I've always said this, always, in all my years of practice, and I hope that this helps you, is you have to earn the right to coach. And that's really what we're talking about today. So I want to fuel you up with a little performance formula to help you make this happen in your leadership. So again, intent, influence, and impact. What a simple 3 I's, I3 formula, if you will. So the first step in winning your way to those raging fans and fostering good conversations and great decisions is intent. So I think you've probably all heard of intention setting. And it's a long known practice, very, very powerful. It doesn't require a lot of time, and it can be done in just a few minutes or even a split second in any conversation. But just having this little formula in your mind about what is my intent? What do I want to get out of this conversation? Who do I want to be in this meeting? Wherever that moment is that leadership finds you, it's what is my intent? That quick second, microsecond to prepare in your mind before the talking or processing or thinking or conversation starts, can really create that positive experience and some really positive energy with your employees and your teams, or even your family, right? Your kids, your spouse. It simply sets the tone and helps you maintain that focus, really driving your thoughts, driving your actions, and keeping the main thing the main thing. But more than anything, it puts you in the driver's seat, of results and who you want to be known for and how you want to impact in your leadership. So whenever possible, I really encourage you to think about this intention setting, not only in just that split moment of the day in those conversations, in those meetings, but try to prepare ahead of time. Do that intention setting ahead. Here's what I mean. When you know you have a big meeting coming up or a big conversation ahead, decide ahead of time. What do you want to get out of that conversation? What do you need to do or to be in that meeting? What do you want to get? What do you want to gain? Here's a quick example. One of the toughest performance management meetings I ever had with an employee. I tell you what, I was sweating bullets. This was a tough cookie, and it was going to be a tough conversation. So leaning into this simple practice of some intention settings and saying, what are my intentions, right? To help this employee move forward in their own performance, because I can't own it. They need to own it. I have enough of my own things to own, right? We can all relate to that. But just that little bit of space ahead of time allowed me to kind of unsurface some of my own ill intent, right? Provided me with some clarity to my own personal leadership values. Let me lean into those. How can you lean into those? So some of those values that I hold that I was able to lean into: potential. I believe in the potential of people, even though the situation was super tough. I believe very much in being crazy curious about things, which means that we don't judge. We allow our ill intent to sort of fade to the side. And honestly, another value I have is to win, and I wanted this person to win. So, ability to focus into my own character, and then to be able to say at that next level, what do I want the intent to be? So I chose some words to focus on. I wrote them on sticky tab and put that right in front of me. And so I know that what I wanted was to be firm. I needed to be firm and clean language, clear as kind, right? And I needed a supportive yet a challenging tone. That was my intent. So it really helped me focus and get the most out of that conversation. So my challenge to you, leader, is how can you set more intentions to be more impactful? There are many moments in the day, and which are the ones that are kind of those power moments where you really, really need to have good intentions and make the most out of that time? And how do you prepare for them to ensure that your audio and your video match, and that you can be that purpose-driven leader of integrity that I know you are? So intention setting, so simple, so simple. Second step to any great conversation, any great decisions, is influence. So with that intent set and clarified in your mind, you can move into that influence and influence healthy progress. So I've always loved what John Maxwell had to say about influence. Anybody a John Maxwell fan out there? Yeah, right? Leadership is influence, nothing more, nothing less. And everyone has some level of influence. So as much as we'd like to just tell everyone kind of what to do, where to go, and how to do it, that doesn't work in the long-term relationships or gaining raging fans, right? That you want to follow your vision. Yeah, it doesn't work that way. So we need to ask ourselves some power questions. How do you want to influence today? How can I best influence the course of action? What is the best way for me to influence the situation or this specific person? And also, how is your position as a leader going to influence the way people think or take action in this situation or in this moment? All of these power questions I'm throwing at you today, which, by the way, will all be in the leader guide. So in the example of my challenging performance review situation, I knew that the best way I could influence was actually by sharing the first time I received some really hard corrective feedback and suggested actions from a leader. And I thought that by sharing my story from the past might put things at ease, right? And give me that supportive yet firm intent that I was hoping for. So what are we going to do? Okay, we're going to take the time to set more intentions, right? Just even in the moment, just in the moment in conversations, and anytime we can, prepare ahead of time. Set those intentions ahead so that we go into meetings, we go into conversations, keeping it real, keeping it positive. And then we're going to think, how can I best influence this situation, this conversation, or this decision with the leadership authority and power that I have and the great personal core values and leadership philosophy that you have. Lastly, we're going to consider impact. And this one has a little different twist. And the question is, how will I know my impact? What will tell me if I have made the impact I was intending to and hoping to influence? Ooh, powerful questions, my friends. So you're really looking for the signs and the feedback from others around you, right? For me, in that tough conversation, that review conversation, I had set that intent right firm, clear as kind, be supportive yet challenging tone, share my own story as a way to open the door to accepting what I had to say from a performance standpoint. So I knew a healthy impact would be if my employee could take my feedback and make sense of it for themselves, right? That's what we all want. And I had to watch for it. Was he able to move past the tension? Did I present things in a way that he could trust me and I could empower him? And at the end of the conversation, I had to ask a few questions because I wasn't sure, based on what I was observing, if I got it. And it was, did I provide you with feedback in a respectful way that can help you perform better? Oh, what a beautiful question. And are you clear about where we need to go, where you need to go? And do you know that I believe in you? So that's one example of, did you see and are you noticing the impact that you're making? And we have to ask that consistently. So what did we learn? What did we talk about today? People buy your intent, they buy your influence, and they buy your impact. So lead with good intent. Stay true in your values, keep them forefront, check your ego, and remember the long game. Lead with that intentional influence. Make the time to prepare and stay conscious in your leadership, even if your preparation is only in a split-second moment in a conversation, and consistently check for that impact. And don't be afraid to ask for it. So be that intentional, influential, and impactful leader that you want to be. Gang, I can't wait to be with you in August, where we're going to break down another great formula to help you not just perform, but outperform. And sneak tip, I think you'll really enjoy the definition of what it means what it really means to outperform and simply crush it in life and leadership. And I'll tell you, it's not what you think it is. It's really not about outperforming necessarily. More to come on that. I'm so thankful for you tuning in and being present to invest in yourself because you're worth it. Remember to grab your leader guide from this episode with some of those great coaching questions I shared to help you carry today's content into your daily leadership. You can find it at voltstrategy.com or find me on LinkedIn. So hey everyone, have a great month. I appreciate you and keep leading to your peak.
I'm Rosie Ward, and this is Show Up as a Leader. To learn more, head over to peopleforwardnetwork.com and, of course, hit that follow button.